Fish, or ocean sunfish. They're the world's largest bony fish, weighing up to 5,000 pounds, and since they have very little girth, that just makes them these absolutely giant dinner plates that God must have accidentally dropped while washing dishes one day, and shrugged his shoulders at because no one could have imagined this would happen. And with no purpose. Every pound of that is a wasted pound, and every foot of it, 10 feet by 14 feet, is wasted space. They are so completely useless that scientists even debate about how they move. They have little control other than some minor wiggling. Some say they must just push water out of their mouths for direction. What? They could use their back fin, except guess what? It doesn't grow. It just continually folds in on itself, so the freaking cells are being made. This piece of floating garbage just doesn't put them where they need to go. So they don't have swim bladders. You know, the one thing that every fish has to make sure it doesn't sink to the bottom of the ocean when they stop moving, and can stay right side up. This creature, that can barely move to begin with, can never stop its continuous tour of idiocy across the ocean, or it'll sink. Except when they get stuck on top of the water, which happens all the time. Because without the whole swim bladder thing, if the ocean pushes over the thinnest but largest, most toppable fish on the planet, it's out of luck. There is no creature on this earth that needs a swim bladder more than this spit in the face of nature, and yet some scientists have speculated that when they do that, they are absorbing energy from the sun because no one knows how they manage to get any real energy to begin with. So they need the sun, I guess. But good news, when they end up stuck like that, it gives birds a chance to land on their island of a body and eat the bugs and parasites out of its skin because it's a migrating group of parasites. Pros and cons. If they are so huge, they must at least be decent predators. No. The most dangerous thing about them is, as you may have guessed, their stupidity. They have caused the death of a person before because it jumped onto a boat onto a human. And in 2005, it decided to relive its mighty glory days and do it again, this time landing on a 4-year-old boy. Luckily, Byron sustained no injuries. Way to go, fish. Great job. Hester Virus, if you're reading this, was that you? Did you almost get mauled by a giant ocean sunfish when you were 4? Let me know in the comments. They mostly only eat jellyfish because, of course they do. They can only eat something that has no brain and a possibility of drifting into their mouths, I guess. Everything they do eat has almost zero nutritional value, and it's because it's so stupidly big, it has to eat a ton of the almost no nutritional value stuff to stay alive. Dumb. See that ridiculous open mouth? This is actually why this is my favorite picture of one, and I've had it saved to my phone for 3 years. Oh no, what could have happened? How could this be? Do not let that expression fool you. They just do not have the ability to close their mouths because their teeth are fused together. And you know what? It is good it floats around with such a clueless expression on its face because it is in fact clueless. They do sometimes get eaten though, but hardly. No animal truly uses them as a food source, but instead, which has led us to said photo, we'll usually just maim them for fun. Seals have often been seen playing with their fins like frisbees, probably the most useful thing to ever come from them. Wow, you raised some good points here. This fish is truly proof that God has abandoned us. But if they're so bad at literally everything, why haven't they gone extinct? Great question. Because this thing is so worthless, it does not realize it should not exist. It is so unaware of literally everything that it doesn't realize that it's doing maybe the worst job of being a fish, or debatably the worst job of being a cluster of cells than any other cluster of cells. So what does it do? It lays the most eggs out of everything. Besides some bugs, like there are some ants and stuff that'll lay more, but it will lay 300 million eggs at one time. 300 million. It survives because it would be statistically improbable, dare I say impossible, that there wouldn't be at least one of those 3 million each time they lay eggs left surviving at the end of the day. And this concludes why I hate this complete failure of evolution. Kids, we don't believe in evolution. The ocean sunfish. If I ever see one, I will throw rocks at it. And then they came back and said, live ocean sunfish update. Fish discovered to be more dumb than previously thought. So the top and bottom fins kind of wiggle all the time, but they're not sure exactly why. They kind of think it's stabilization. But they can jump by turning on their side and using them as wing-type things. It is suspected that they do this as a way of scratching their parasite-ridden bodies. So learning that, I was like, huh, okay, they have a skill. Then I discovered that since they're so terrible at swimming, the current will carry them deep into cold water. Then they die. So I have learned that they are so stupid they just slowly get consumed by freezing death. All the while they have the full ability for that to not happen, because they're worthless floating garbage. So, there's that. The reason for me reading this out loud today is because this person is just bashing on this one fish. And it's kind of like life. These people will continually say, you're worthless, you can't do anything, you're so stupid, you literally have no point of being here at all. And then people like this next person come around. This person saw that post and was like, excuse you, you are completely wrong. This person said, ocean sunfish are awesome and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. That dude has no idea what he's talking about. I am very pro sunfish because they are unlike anything else and look absolutely alien. They are so cool. For starters, they are the heaviest bony fish in the world, and that's on a diet of eating jellyfish, although recent investigations into their diet could be indicative of a more omnivorous diet. And they do go after hosts mated with squid and fish. Even if they only eat jellyfish occasionally, they are helping to deal with the massive increases in jellyfish populations caused by human overfishing. So score 1 for sunfish helping manage the out-of-control jellyfish. Besides, you can't knock someone for eating jellyfish. Sea turtles do it all the time, and the massive leatherback sea turtle feed almost exclusively on jellies. Secondly, they just aren't drifters, like Mr. Burns said. That was the guy who wrote the other post. In 2004, these two people proved that ocean sunfish are actually active swimmers. In 2008, these other two people proved that sunfish frequently take vertical dives, so who knows what they're eating while they're down there. Swimming at speeds similar to marlins and sharks. I don't know what back fin Mr. Burns is talking about. Perhaps the clavis, which is a scallop fringe of muscle on the caudal end that the fish uses as a rudder, but they do move synchronously. That's a fun word. Beating their dorsal fins. Sunfish are the only animal to do this with the fins that originally weren't bilaterally symmetrical, and these fins manage to generate a lift and thrust similar to that of a penguin beating its wings. So they actually control where they go, swim as fast as other fish, and generate as much thrust as a penguin. Not bad for a 5,000-pound fish head with wings. So that's basically what the person has to say about that. So you've got these people saying you're worthless, you can't do anything, you don't have any talents, there's nothing good about this, like why are you even here? And then there's these other people that are like, what are you even talking about? You have no idea what you're talking about. They can do this and this and this and this and this. Like, what are you, like, you're basically saying their only talent is breathing, and they can do all of this. They do all these things. You're completely wrong in everything you're saying. So, yeah, basically, if you don't know you have talents, then how are you going to use your talents to serve God? So, yeah. That's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. See you next time. Before I go, don't forget to check out the rest of the I Am series. That is my new series that I'm doing now. And, yeah. Today's was I Am Talented. So, bye guys.